Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something, well, a bit different, a really unique source. It's this candid conversation, really insightful, between two people just trying to get the hang of English nuances.
Yeah, navigating the tricky bits.
Exactly. And our mission really is to pull out those, linguistic nuggets, those hidden patterns that can help you sound more confident, more precise.
And what I find compelling is how practical it all is. This isn't dusty old grammar rules, right?
Not at all.
It's the everyday sort of language stumbles we all face, but shown through a real chat. We'll break down some common errors, those tricky distinctions.
Yeah, going beyond just what's right to maybe why it matters, how it sounds.
Precisely.
Think of this deep dive as maybe a shortcut to some of those aha moments in English, without wading through textbooks.
Right.
We're going to pull specific examples, like straight from this conversation, so you can quickly see what works, what maybe doesn't, and the subtle impact. Okay, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So it kicks off with this scene, super relatable. One person, Raj, is just wiped out from work.
Exhausted.
Yeah, literally eating and typing with one hand. The other person, Maria, she jokes, calls it survival mode.
Which, sits the scene perfectly, doesn't it? Real life bleeding into how we talk.
It really does. And it kind of tees up Maria's own recent blunders at work, which become our first little case study here.
It's a great starting point. It highlights how even when things are casual, getting the language right can feel important, especially maybe under pressure.
Totally.
And often it's not like huge glaring errors, but these smaller missteps that can subtly change how people hear you.
Right. So Maria then talks about two embarrassing mistakes she made on a video call. And this is where it gets, I think, really useful for anyone trying to level up their English.
Okay.
First one she mentioned, she said he don't like the design.
Ah, okay. The classic.
Yeah.
This takes us straight to, well, a really fundamental point, but one that trips people up surprisingly often. Subject-verb agreement. Present simple tense.
Right. He, she, it.
Exactly. With he, she, and it, you need doesn't, not don't. Simple rule on paper. But, for some learners, it becomes a kind of fossilized error. Something they know, but it still slips out. Getting this one right, though, it instantly makes your speech sound more polished.
It really does signal a certain command, doesn't it? Beyond just knowing words.
Absolutely. It shows you've internalized the structure.
Yeah.
Okay, what was the second one?
Her second mistake, just as common, I think. I will send the file.
Oh, yeah. That's another one you hear a lot. So here, the rule is about forming the future tense with will. It's straightforward. Will is always, always followed by the base form of the verb, the infinitive without to.
So, will send, not sent.
Correct. Will send. These might seem like tiny things. Don't versus doesn't, sent versus sent.
Don't they add up?
They really do. Especially in, say, professional emails or calls, there are often those little details that mark out really strong, clear communicators from those who are maybe still figuring things out.
And those kinds of, real-world slips often lead to deeper questions, right? So Maria then asks something fantastic, something that confuses tons of learners, even pretty advanced ones.
Oh.
What's the actual difference between say and tell? When do you use which?
Yes. This is a big one. And the conversation actually nails the core distinction pretty well.
Okay.
Generally, say is used without a direct object, meaning a person right after it. Like, she said she's tired. You can add to me or to him later, like, she said to me that she was tired. But it doesn't have to be right after say.
Got it. So say focuses more on the word spoken.
Kind of, yeah. Whereas tell almost always needs a direct object immediately following it. You have to specify who you told.
Okay, so you can't just tell something into the void.
Exactly. You tell someone something. So she told me she's tired. Or you can tell a story, a lie, the truth. The object is essential right after tell.
So practically speaking then, for our listener, you'd say, Raj said he's busy. But if you're talking to the person you heard it, you'd say, Raj told me he's busy.
Spot on.
Yeah.
It's a really useful rule once you sort of internalize it.
Yeah.
Adds a lot of precision.
Okay, but are there exceptions? Like times when that rule feels a bit fuzzy? English loves its exceptions.
It certainly does. Well, the main one people bump into is with direct quotes. You can say, she said, I'm tired.
Ah, right. The quote itself acts like the object there.
Kinda, yeah. And then there are those fixed phrases, those collocations. We always tell a lie, tell a secret, tell the truth, tell a story, tell the time.
You wouldn't say a lie. Sounds weird.
Sounds very weird. So yeah, in those cases, the fixed expression overrides the general grammar pattern. It's about what sounds natural, what's commonly used. That's where it goes beyond just rules.
Into that idiomatic territory. Okay, another great question came up in their chat. This one often gets people, especially when they're trying to be more nuanced. The difference between I've been working and I was working.
Ooh, yes. Present perfect continuous versus past continuous. Subtle, but important.
Definitely. How did they break it down?
Well, they explain that I've been working. Yeah. The present perfect continuous links the past action to the present.
How so?
It means the action started in the past, and either it's still going on right now, or it just finished, and there's a result or consequence now.
Okay, like their example.
Their example was perfect. I've been working all morning. I'm exhausted now. The exhaustion now is the key part. It's the present result of that work.
Got it. Connected to the present. And I was working.
That's the past continuous. It describes an action that was in progress at a specific point in the past. Often it sets the scene for another past action.
Like the example, I was working when you called.
Exactly. The focus isn't on a present result. It's about what was happening then, at that past moment, maybe when something else happened. It puts you back in that past time frame.
These really do seem subtle on the surface, don't they? But like you said, getting them right adds so much clarity, especially when you're telling a story or explaining something complex.
Definitely. It helps the listener track the timeline correctly.
Could messing them up actually cause, like, real confusion, even if you're pretty fluent otherwise?
Oh, potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
In a work context, imagine someone says, I was working on the report all day. That might imply it's finished or it was just something happening yesterday.
Right.
But if they say, I've been working on the report all day, that often suggests, the work might still be ongoing or it's just finished and relevant now. Maybe they're tired now or the report is ready now.
I see. That nuance could definitely matter for deadlines or expectations.
For sure. It changes the implication.
Oh, okay, so moving on. The conversation then kind of shifts, right? They start talking about their own past mistakes, those sort of cringe moments we all have when learning.
Sharing the battle scars.
Yeah, but also celebrating how far they've come. It's actually quite inspiring.
It is. Recognizing progress is huge.
And they gave specific examples. One was saying, discuss about something.
Ah, yes. That preposition trap.
Instead of just discuss something.
Right. Discuss is what we call a transitive verb. It takes its object directly. You discuss the issue, discuss the plan. You don't need about because discuss already includes that idea.
Like enter a room, not enter into a room.
Exactly the same principle. Some verbs just don't need the extra preposition in standard English. It feels redundant.
And the other one they mentioned saying, make a photo.
Oh, the classic collocation error. Instead of
take a photo.
Yes. This is purely idiomatic. There's no real logical reason why it's take and not make. It's just how English speakers pair those words.
Like take a break or take a shower.
Precisely. But you make breakfast or make a decision. These verb-noun partnerships or collocations are everywhere. Learning them is less about grammar rules and more about, absorbing common usage.
It really highlights that learning a language isn't just formulas, is it? It's also about adopting these natural-sounding phrases.
Absolutely. Nailing these idioms is a big step toward sounding truly fluent, not just...
And it's great hearing them talk about it like solving a mystery or a puzzle. That reframes the whole learning process. Makes it feel less like a chore, maybe.
Definitely more engaging. Less like homework, more like a game.
So how does their conversation wrap up? They started planning more practice, right?
Yeah, with some really fun, practical ideas, actually, like having an English-only day.
Oh, brave.
Yeah. And playing 20 questions in English, even writing a mini story together.
I love that. It really drives home the point for you, the listener, that practice doesn't have to be boring.
Not at all. Consistent, even playful practice is absolutely key. And their idea of recording themselves, correcting each other.
That active feedback loop?
Exactly. It shows that learning is iterative. You use the language, you get feedback, you adjust. That's how fluency develops.
And they finish with this really powerful vision, don't they? Aiming to be full-on English coaches.
Aiming for that bilingual, bold, and brilliant vibe, as they put it.
I like that. And they call themselves Fluentish now.
Which is great. Celebrating the stage they're at. Recognizing it's a journey, not just a destination. That commitment to keep improving, even when you're already pretty good.
That's maybe the biggest lesson here.
I think so.
So let's wrap this up. What does this all mean for you listening in?
Our deep dive today, I think, really showed that mastering a language, it's not just about rote memorization of rules.
No, it's much more dynamic. It's a journey, right? Discovering things, solving those little puzzles.
Embracing those moments you get, even from just a simple everyday chat like the one we analyzed.
And it really highlights that every, slip up, every mistake, it's actually a chance to learn something.
Turn the cringe into progress.
Exactly. And practicing together, even casually, can lead to real breakthroughs. That journey from saying make a photo to automatically saying take a photo, it comes from that persistence, that curiosity.
It really does. We hope you found some valuable nuggets here today. We certainly did digging into it. And maybe this raises a question for you, the listener, to think about. What's one perhaps slightly embarrassing language mistake you've made in the past? One that, looking back now, actually taught you something really valuable, maybe something unexpected about English. And thinking about that, how could you maybe start using your own daily conversations, your interactions, as chances to understand the language just a little bit deeper, a little more confidently?
Yeah, how to find those learning moments everywhere. Definitely something to ponder as you continue your own language adventure. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.